SCP Foundation Database, Item Number SCP-6038. Object Class Euclid Warning, unauthorized access is prohibited. Begin log. On March 3, 2026, a confectionery product marketed as Candy Dots began distribution across multiple retail chains in the western United States. The product consisted of small, brightly colored spherical candies packaged in standard retail plastic bags. No irregularities were identified during initial safety inspections. Notably, SCP-6038 exhibits no anomalous properties while in an unopened or unconsumed state. Independent Foundation observation confirms that the product remains completely inert under all external conditions, including proximity to animals, fluctuating temperatures, and extended surveillance periods. No movement, sound, or biological activity has ever been detected in sealed samples. Activation occurs exclusively after ingestion. The first recorded anomaly event took place on April 8, 2026. Subject 6038-1, a 34-year-old male residing in Fresno County, California, purchased one package of Candy Dots from a local convenience store. According to retail surveillance, the subject consumed the entire package within a 15-minute period while returning home. Approximately 6 hours post-consumption, the subject began reporting severe gastrointestinal distress. Witnesses described him as visibly agitated, repeatedly stating that he felt something sitting completely still inside him. At 1943 hours, the subject was admitted to a nearby hospital. Initial medical examination revealed no abnormalities. Blood panels, MRI scans, and CT imaging showed no signs of infection, obstruction, or foreign material. Physicians documented the case as severe but unexplained gastrointestinal distress. Over the next several hours, the subject's condition deteriorated rapidly. Subdermal irregularities were observed along the abdominal region, described by medical staff as localized internal shifting without identifiable source. At 2:14 a.m. on April 9, 2026, subject 6038-1 suffered complete cardiac failure and was pronounced deceased. An autopsy was immediately authorized. During dissection, medical personnel discovered hundreds of small spherical structures distributed throughout the gastrointestinal tract and surrounding organs. These structures matched the appearance, size, and coloration of the original Candy Dots consumed by the subject. At the time of discovery, no movement or biological activity was observed. However, anomaly escalation occurred following completion of the autopsy procedure. After the subject's remains were reassembled for standard mortuary storage, the internal candy-like structures were found to have completely vanished. No residual organic or chemical trace was detected within the body. Re-examination of the remains was conducted 3 separate times over a 24-hour period, each yielding identical results. The disappearance event remains unexplained. Within 11 days of the initial incident, 6 additional fatalities were reported across multiple counties in California. Each subject had consumed Candy Dots within 24 hours prior to symptom onset. Each case presented identical progression, gastrointestinal distress, negative imaging results, sudden internal degradation, and death within 48 hours of ingestion. In all 6 cases, post-mortem examinations revealed identical candy-like structures embedded throughout internal organs. In all 6 cases, those structures were absent within 24 hours of post-autopsy storage. On April 17, 2026, Foundation automated anomaly detection systems flagged the pattern due to identical product correlation across multiple unrelated fatalities. On April 19th, recovered residential surveillance footage from Incident 6038-4 provided the first confirmed visual evidence of internal organism emergence. The footage depicts subject 6038-4 standing motionless in a residential kitchen at approximately 3:17 a.m. No external movement is visible for approximately 110 seconds. The subject then collapses. Several small worm-like organisms are observed exiting the subject's oral cavity shortly before the recording terminates due to unexplained electrical failure. On April 21st, Foundation Mobile Task Force units initiated retrieval operations of all known Candy Dots stock within affected regions. All recovered samples remained inert during transport and storage. No activation events occurred outside a biological host. On April 24, 2026, the anomaly was formally designated SCP-6038. SCP-6038 is classified as a parasitic organism that mimics a commercially distributed confectionery product known as Candy Dots. SCP-6038 remains completely inert in its external form and does not respond to environmental stimuli, including biological proximity, mechanical stress, or thermal variation. SCP-6038 only becomes active upon ingestion by a living host. Once inside a host organism, SCP-6038 initiates rapid internal replication.
Following classification of SCP-6038 on April 24, 2026, further Foundation analysis confirmed additional anomalous behavior previously unobserved during initial containment. SCP-6038 exhibits no detectable metabolic activity in its external state. Sealed samples remain completely inert and show no signs of decay, consumption, or energy exchange under laboratory conditions. Long-term observation confirms that SCP-6038 does not appear to feed on organic material, radiation, or environmental energy sources in its dormant form. However, replication is triggered under highly specific conditions. Experimental data confirms that SCP-6038 only activates and reproduces when exposed to digestive fluids, including gastric acid and enzymatic compounds present within living host organisms. Outside of this environment, SCP-6038 remains completely inactive and non-propagative. No replication has ever been successfully initiated outside a biological digestive system. This discovery initially complicated containment procedures, as SCP-6038 could not be neutralized through starvation, chemical isolation, or environmental sterilization alone. Further testing revealed that once activated, SCP-6038 rapidly generates additional candy-like biological structures within the host body. These structures do not appear to consume nutrients from the host in a conventional sense. Instead, they form independently within tissue structures, suggesting a non-metabolic replication mechanism. The process remains poorly understood. On May 2, 2026, Foundation Mobile Task Force units initiated large-scale containment operations, targeting all known retail distribution points of Candy Dots. Civilian exposure sites were quarantined, and all remaining stock was confiscated and incinerated under controlled conditions. Class A amnestics were distributed to exposed individuals, and public reports were suppressed under the guise of a nationwide confectionery contamination recall. Following containment action, SCP-6038 incidence rates began to decline sharply. By May 28, 2026, no new confirmed fatalities were recorded. By June 10, 2026, all previously active SCP-6038 case clusters had ceased reporting symptoms. On June 22, 2026, Foundation epidemiological tracking confirmed that SCP-6038-related incidents had stopped increasing entirely. Despite containment success, the anomaly itself has not been eradicated. Periodic isolated manifestations continue to appear in unverified retail channels, though no large-scale distribution has been observed since initial containment efforts. Of particular note, the company initially associated with Candy Dots production was subject to immediate shutdown on April 26, 2026. The organization was placed under federal investigation and remained closed for a period of 5 months. On September 30, 2026, the company reportedly resumed limited operations under new corporate restructuring. Since its reopening, no confirmed SCP-6038 cases have been linked to its distribution network. However, Foundation surveillance confirms that SCP-6038 samples have continued to appear independently of known supply chains, suggesting no direct correlation between corporate activity and anomaly manifestation. The origin of SCP-6038 remains unknown. No manufacturing source has been verified. No biological precursor has been identified. No environmental origin point has been established. SCP-6038 does not appear to follow conventional epidemiological or industrial propagation models. As of this report, the Foundation has concluded that SCP-6038 is not a manufactured product in the traditional sense, but a recurring biological anomaly whose method of emergence remains unclassified. The investigation is ongoing. End log.